Hey, we highly recommend watching Society before listening to this episode. It's available in the US on Shudder, Arrow Video, YouTube Movies, and more. While you watch the movie, you should also check out our commentary track for reactions and riffing. It's available to all our patrons or for $1 on PleaseStopShopping.com. Links are in the description.
In the deepest and darkest of woods, where not even the light of the moon can penetrate, two vile creatures indulge in dark delights and have conquered their comrades into capitulation. Now they wander these lands watching scary cinema, and there's a good chance you're next. Mandalore and David invite you to ponder some spooky tapes.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
It's the policeman. Your son's been hit by a drunk driver. He's dead.
What?
He's doing the fucking
That's how
Joker
you-
knock knock joke.
Is that a Joker knock knock?
Yeah, it's what he does.
Sorry,
when he's on the,
it's been a
he's on the
rough few
show.
weeks, Murray. Ever since I killed the
Shut the
three Wall
fuck up.
Street guys.
You looked up the Joker script. Shut the fuck up.
Oh
There's
my
no
god,
punchline.
welcome
It's not a
everybody.
joke.
Stop. Welcome everybody to Pondering Spooky Tapes. We're talking about society today. Before we start, I just want to, because I know Brendan kind of knew what was going to happen. Corbin has no fucking idea what was going to happen.
I still don't know what happened.
What's your take? What's your take though?
My fucking.
What's your take?
It was. I like I said, I would never in a million years call that a movie.
But
That
yeah,
was-
but what you said you wouldn't call it a movie. What would you call it?
A fucking middle schooler's wet dream.
What?
What?
Whoa.
Is that what we all dreamed about in middle school?
I
Okay,
Dude, okay. The
Corbin,
okay,
we have a lot to unpack, and I feel like you just opened a Pandora's box of things to unpack.
So whatever
Oh my god!
you don't understand what's going on in this event of sequences. You never know what's going on, and then the third act, you're like, okay, maybe there was a plot. It just there
I
was
think
so
you
many
said
things-
wet dream.
What?
Did you mean wet nightmare?
yeah.
No,
what-
I know. I noticed it.
I-
You know when you wake up wet, covered in sweat.
No, a wet dream is a cum dream. I know you know
It's
what
a
it is. I
dream
know
where
you're
you
being
cum.
goofy.
You're being a goofy guy. Either way, I know. Okay.
we can rewind this a bit.
Oh my god! I did not expect that fucking answer. In my head, I was
did
just
not
like,
either.
the wet dream
was so
part
thrown.
threw me so hard. So
There's boobs. There's boobies.
society. Oh, there's a lot of things. I'm surprised, dude. Of all the things, I'm surprised there's no like hanging dong in this movie.
I was
Like,
upset
straight
by
up.
that.
I in my head, I remember that one sex scene having hanging dong. Either way,
I often
Let's-
think about
let
that
me
one
just-
picture where Sandy Cheeks cockvores an entire car, and I'm surprised that wasn't in this movie.
Okay, so let
The
me
what?
just
The Sandy Cheeks cockvore
no, we're
picture.
stopping. We're stopping here. So Society, it's a movie from 1989. It's definitely body horror.
100%.
It's definitely one of the most paranoid movies ever. Like the entire movie is it's just the main character being paranoid about everything.
Yeah, I mean that's why when Corbin was saying that it's barely a movie. I see how he gets.
It is, but
Well, I see why why he would say that, because it's like the entire plot of it is just dude is going around trying to live
It's
his
just guy
life.
getting
and-
gaslit.
Yes.
well, there's kind of there's a mystery aspect to it. I think
Oh,
it's very
sure.
similar to Rosemary's Baby, except it's
yeah.
very different.
yeah,
it
it's
is
just-
very different.
Since the entire plot is just the mystery of what's happening, but it's
Yeah.
not like, oh, maybe one person is weird. It's like
This
everything.
entire society is weird.
Yeah.
This movie was structured like a Delta Green campaign, and they kept failing his will saves.
Oh God.
It's a good way to put it.
So this is the first time directorial debut of Brian Yuzna, who is like one of the most well-known horror movie collaborators of Stuart Gordon, who also Stuart Gordon, he made like Reanimator,
From
Dagon,
Beyond.
From Beyond, like actual fucking legend of he did a lot of H.P. Lovecraft movies, and they're all fucking just good.
And this one is very fitting under that umbrella.
Oh, absolutely.
You killed him. No, I did not. I gave him life.
He also, something I learned, Brian Yuzna co-wrote Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
What the, really?
Strange.
I was wondering about all the shunting that Rick Moranis did in that movie. Curious.
No, stop. Stop. Yeah, no, he wrote the story of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with Stuart Gordon.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that was their handiwork.
It is.
But were they
pretty
involved
fucking
with Honey,
wild.
I Blew Up the Baby? I gotta know.
They were involved with Honey. Oh, what was it? What was the other ones? Honey, I Blew Up the Baby, or what? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, and
There's
Honey,
so
I Blew
many
Up
of
the
those
Kids.
movies.
Oh my God, they did every one of the movies. Never mind.
Holy
Wow.
shit! I can't believe they made the Big Baby pre-Big Baby for Baby
Big Baby,
Geniuses.
the big
Honey, there's
Baby.
another plane.
Dunstan
Oh
checks
my God.
out.
And the effects were done by Screaming Mad George, who he's also been on a ton of stuff. He did a bunch of
Yeah, Screaming Mad George on this movie did the makeup effects. Although, if I'm honest, just saying that he did the makeup effects is just,
it doesn't quite convey it.
He made this movie. I don't think this movie would have been remembered
No.
as fondly if it wasn't for Screaming Mad George.
Instead of having my real Japanese name, George Tani, it's really kind of boring, and I wanted to have like some different, or like, you know, the crazy guy. Mad sounds more crazier than crazy to me.
He did the entirety of the special effects. He is one of the most interesting fucking people on the planet. He worked on, let me try to remember, because he has like an insane fucking thing. He worked on like pretty much every movie that Brian Yuzna worked on afterwards. Like he did some stuff for the Reanimator sequels. He did the actually he worked on The Predator. Like
I know his
Predator.
big thing was the Alex Winter from Bill and Ted, where when he made Freak.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my! Yeah, he
that
did
was
Freak. That's
Screaming Mad
right.
George.
He did do Freak. Yeah,
Which
and
also,
he also
was like
did
bizarre. All the
yeah, that's one on my list of movies I want to watch. Freaked is real fun on this show. I mean,
Yeah.
He also did the best Nightmare on Elm Street sequence, in my opinion, in part 4 Dream Master. I think it's the
Which one's that?
cockroach.
Oh, okay.
He did the cockroach.
All right.
It's very obvious when you see it.
Yeah, the arms,
imagine
and that makes
if
more
you've never
sense.
seen, if you've never seen one of those movies, like just think about that one cockroach scene, and that it's the entire fucking movie is like that.
That's a good way to put it.
The movie is written by Zeffie Daniel and Rick Fry, and it's starring Billy Warlock, who is the son of Dick Warlock, the original Shape on Halloween.
Oh, really? Because when we started watching it, Corbin thought it was someone else, and I can't remember who it was. It was something Brendan
fucking
knew.
Uncle Joey.
I thought it was Uncle Joey. I thought there was a Star Trek actor. I thought the actress who played Lorfana Troy was the mom, and I got confused. And then Mandy fucking tricked me,
That's right.
saying that there was going to be a Stargate actor, and I got so fucking excited. I was looking everywhere, even at like the side characters and the extras, and I was like, "Oh fuck, am I going to see Teal'c? Am I going to see Colonel O'Neill?
Teal'c? What the fuck, man?
Well, Teal'c was the warrior of the Goa'uld.
Goa'uld.
Well,
He has a big
Goa'uld.
stick that hurts.
I was also like so convinced within the first few scenes that this was just going to be Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox.
You literally got thrown into this movie with like nothing. We just threw you in.
Which is honestly
The best way to go into that
which makes
movie.
kind of talking about it. It's like, well, because
Even the
it-
like
if you
5
know-
seconds of what I've seen of the movie previously, I was not ready for this shit. I literally averted my eyes like more times than I thought I would, but I kept like forcing my head back so I could watch. And like I could feel my neck fucking as I was like, look at it, Brendan, look at it.
It's a lot. One of the fun things, actually, Billy Warlock was also in Halloween 2.
Which a fucking
He was
badass name, by the way. Can I say Billy fucking Warlock?
Warlock? That's a fucking
sounds like a
badass.
Sounds like a
name,
Stranger
yeah.
Things character.
Yeah. The other characters, I don't think I don't know anything else about them. Oh, actually, Billy Warlock, before doing this, I think that's incredibly fitting. But before doing Society, he was doing Days of Our Lives.
Wild.
I fucking knew it.
Like-
I told you.
What?
You said something about wait, are we on the same page?
I don't.
Days of Our Lives is a soap opera.
I know.
Yeah.
You said something about soap operas, and I said I watched
Yeah,
Days of Our Lives.
David said you probably don't know him unless you like
Yeah,
soap
yeah.
operas.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I fucking knew I knew the person. You fuck.
You have no fucking way you were watching Days of Our Lives from 86 to 2006.
David, my mom was.
Oh.
No way, dude. Maybe. I mean,
It's crazy. My mom was watching Prison Break.
My mom was obsessed with Days of Our Lives, and we just sit there and watch it. I never knew what was going on, but I look at the faces.
it doesn't matter. There's like 20,000 episo's of that show.
That shit is the
dude.
One Piece of normal.
It is. It's the One Piece of normal. Yeah, no. He's still doing like mostly soap operas though. That's pretty much what he's known for. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
With a name
He
like
plays the main
Warlock,
character.
just getting
It's-
stuck in soap operas, like, fuck, at least put that dude in Kyle XY.
Oh my god.
I think it's very fitting that Days of Our Lives was like his main thing, because the beginning of the movie up to the third act, honestly, like almost the
It
entirety
is
of the movie
more of
is
a soap
filmed.
opera, kind of.
It feels like you're watching a soap opera with sometimes something crazy and fucked up happens and you're just like, oh man, okay.
Up until
like-
the
and they
third
really-
act, I felt like I was watching an Ernest movie without Ernest. I'll be dirt honest with you. I actually felt like I was watching an Ernest movie without Ernest, the way shit was going on, the sound effects. I was like, what the fuck?
Because it has the teen drama, but it just starts ramping up. Where it's like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
like he has a girlfriend. She's like, oh, we want to go to the party. You have to make sure we're invited to the party.
Yeah.
But there's no like big underlying thing besides the conspiracy or whatever's happening.
One of the big things about this movie is like it talks a lot about class. Like it is the most not subtle thing ever. It's like you're watching a Purge movie, how those movies are not subtle. That's how Society is not subtle, you know?
It's a claw hammer of a movie.
It is a good double feature with They Live. Like,
Perfect, actually.
Like,
It's so
watch
perfect.
that in They Live and then talk about which one you thought was more subtle. Especially since, you know, it's like They Live
How
has
they
the
said
line
the
about selling
thing.
out. But
And this
Society is just
movie
like,
has a line about
you're
we
poor.
rich folks. We rich folks always take advantage of low class shit like you. It's like, oh,
No,
subtle.
the line was, we always suck off.
Oh
Low-class.
yeah, suck off low class scum like you. That's right.
Didn't you know, Billy Boy? The rich have always sucked off low-class shit like you.
I know that I want to talk about the shunting as soon as possible, but let's just recap real quick. Just a few scenes of the movie. Just like go through the things that pop out for you guys.
Well,
Because the movie just begins and it's like the most normal shit. Just there's
no, it
just
opens
like
with the girl getting fucking having a
There's the knife.
stalker in her fucking closet.
It's normal for about 3 minutes.
it's normal for 3 minutes. It's just like
after the knife
There's-
scene and the therapist and the worm
Yeah.
apple.
yeah, the therapist
Wow.
is like those were rewrites also.
Really?
Those were reshoots. Yeah, the original script did not have any of the therapist scenes in it.
I was gonna say because I watched
Which
this
is-
fairly recently, or like every therapist scene, or just the opener.
Everyone.
That-
Every one of
Oh
them.
wow,
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because you get
Imagine.
so confused by things just happening, and then the therapist scenes just beat you over the head like with
They explain to you what is happening.
yes,
Yeah.
like toddler mode. Because I started suspecting, I was like, are they aliens? And then the therapist goes, and you don't want to feel alienated. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Billy Warlock lives a normal life. like pretty bog standard normal life with his two parents and his sister. Everything's like the beginning is just normal. Him playing basketball with his bro. His bro's like, "Oh, you're such a Mr. Perfect. You're gonna kill the fucking president." And then it moves on.
Yeah, you're Mr. Perfect. You'll probably end up assassinating the president.
In Minecraft.
The scene changes to like his sister's just like changing, and then is it her ex?
Well, that's
what I've been having trouble like understanding. Is Dave Blanchard the ex?
Yes, when it starts,
okay,
it's just Billy's living his normal life, but on the first watch of the movie, his family just seems kind of strange. His sister's having a coming out party, which is not. It doesn't mean she's going to kiss girls.
It's like a high, it's a high society thing.
Yeah. It is an older term. We talked about this in the commentary track a bit, but it's an older term for like my daughter has now come of age to bear children or interact with the other nobles. So we're gonna have a party where here she is. We're gonna introduce her into society. I do not think we do that nowadays. For the most part, if you have had or witnessed a coming out party, please share.
I'd be really interested.
They're called grad parties now.
No. It is still a thing. It's a really weird Southern upper class thing.
Oh, so they are still around.
They're definitely still around. They're not cotillions, but they're called something else, and it is still really, really weird.
Okay, like I know, like Sweet 16s might be an equivalent in some areas.
No.
Not
there's
really.
It's completely different. Like the parents organize it.
And,
it
is a thing then.
The girls go to like classes for it.
Really?
What?
Really? Because I've never heard of any happening around here.
What do you learn?
Like how to
debutante,
how to be a lady.
Oh man, that's
you mean debutante?
So it might be debutante
because that's like a debutante.
Yeah,
it's just debutante, not.
I think it is. And you have like
I'm Iowan. Shut the fuck up. Give me 5 breaks.
Okay.
I'm gonna say debutante. I'm gonna say crick. I'm gonna say nuclear. Leave me alone. Let me alone.
You don't say nuclear.
Tubular.
Yeah, I think it is a debutante ball, but it's really weird. And there's debutante balls that are like normal. And then there's some that are like really weird Southern special things that are like, no, you must go to lady school and learn how to be proper.
Oh, I've seen those. They make fun of those in Borat, actually.
Yes.
Isn't there an entire scene where Borat takes one of those fucking classes and they keep making fun of the? Yeah.
Oh, I can tell you. Yeah, but that's just like the manners. But
yeah, the manners. I mean, I'm guessing it's the same. I have no idea.
I thought it was like specifically for like, oh, you're having a coming out party soon. You have to train.
Yeah. I mean, she's like getting ready.
Like a shonen.
Yeah.
you gotta fucking train.
Gotta power up for the debutante ball. I gotta be the most well-mannered.
Yeah.
So
she's getting ready for that.
She's getting ready for that. She's just like for her practicing.
If you Google it says an upper class young woman making her first appearance in a fashionable society.
Huh. She's just doing her stuff she's like changing, getting ready to do her debutante practice thing.
And she goes to get something from her closet, and a man emerges and tackles her onto the bed.
And he just keeps going, I'm sorry, stop moving. And during the entire time, there's just so much screaming, so much happening. But the brother just goes in and says, hey, man, you're out of line.
Yeah, just kind of escorts him downstairs.
Everybody is so casual about this man breaking and entering and spying on this woman. It's so fucking
Except for him, like the parents are just like, oh, go home.
Yeah,
they're like he is supposed to be her ex-boyfriend, so they do kind of know him. It's still very fucking weird.
That's what I wasn't sure about. Like, if he was an ex-boyfriend, because they do mention like,
oh yeah,
is this the last we are going to see of Dave Blanchard?
Yeah, he's her ex-boyfriend, which is why the parents aren't. Well, I mean, there's a few reasons they aren't quite freaking out as much, but they were aware of him. It is weird how little they still underreact to him.
There's, I think, I mean, I feel like that's the point. Though,
Oh yeah. Oh no. It's intentional.
They are very cold towards like anything involving normal people.
Oh yeah, because
like during the entire movie, it's all about them, like the rich, like always. They have such a weird way to act. I don't even know how to say it, like explain it. It's not only them being cold, it's also them being like, they do not give a shit.
It's the same way you would talk to a steak in the grocery store. Me,
sure,
I talk to my meat.
I mean, weirdly pretty accurate.
Yeah, I mean, they are not too invested in whatever the fuck is going on that isn't part of their deal. It's like, oh, this weirdo broke in. It's like, whatever, just run along. We have places to be.
Yeah. Oh, how's your friend? And then they just fuck off while he's answering. That shit always fucking kills me.
It's like Oblivion dialogue, but you accidentally hit escape. Just, where's your friend?
It actually is like that. It totally is like that.
Oh, Bill, wasn't that Milo outside?
Yeah, he was just gonna take me to...
Everybody fucking rhymes like they're in a Shel Silverstein novel.
Oh, that's another weird thing. I've never realized while watching, there's so much... Rewatching this movie is very strange knowing what happens at the end, and also just noticing all the little things. Like, while we were watching, we noticed that there was a lot of rhyming. Like, for no reason, just so much rhyming during the movie, and also a lot of interesting set design.
Yeah, fellatio statues.
Which I am sure Screaming Mad George is behind.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I think they had purpose, because it is like a mirroring of the weird body contortions that happen.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And
absolutely. It's just... It's so subtle. Like it barely feels like it's like
the background stuff is subtle. Everything else is like a brick to the face.
Well, it's also the fact that when you first see her like getting ready for the coming out party and she has the weird statue of the dude sucking himself off. It's like they have a statue of a guy sucking themselves off. It's like that. That's the society they have. They just sit around about how great they are.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Because they're all fucking circle jerking.
Yeah.
And just like
they literally just sit around like we're the fucking best. We are good bred, well bred.
We are British.
I didn't even read that, but that's totally true.
Well, for all I know, that's how I'm reading it. But it could have just been Screaming Mad George going, "Wow, what if this guy was sucking himself off and putting the statue there?"
Yuzna was very. Was it his only movie? No, it was not. It was his first directorial debut. He wanted to make sure that he put 110%.
Because I don't know what else he directed
when it comes
after.
To shit like that.
He just was
Bride of
producing
Reanimator.
a ton.
Bride of Reanimator and Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, I think.
Oh, okay. I mean,
which is
it's something.
Yeah, Bride of Reanimator is fine. Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 is that's one on the list for sure.
Man.
One of the big things about this whole family is that they are extremely weirdly sexual with each other. Like incest is a big it comes back a lot.
It's how it
during
ramps
this
up
entire fucking movie.
How it's paced is very good because she's like, "Oh, can you zip me up, Billy?"
Like after throwing Dave Blanchard out, she's just like, "Billy, can you zip me up?" And then she's being really weird and sexual about it and making like
sweaty,
teasing jokes. And oh god, everybody's
and then her
always
back
sweaty in this movie.
pulsates like a bullfrog's neck. That's also like, something unusual.
Yeah, that is it just pulsates, and that is the first time that the movie really is just.
It's so fucking weird. Rare too until the third act.
Yeah,
it's such a fucking like every time it happens, you're like you have to do a double take like you're watching a fucking cartoon. Like what?
It is. It's a very. This movie is full of body horror, but Act 1 and 2, especially Act 2. Act 2 barely has anything going on in it. I'm gonna be honest. Like that's one of the things that I kind of don't like about this movie. And I do love this movie, but Act 2 doesn't really have anything much going on apart from just like people keep gaslighting Bill.
Yeah, Act 2 kind of helps obfuscate what's happening because there are like weird things happening that end up being red herrings Like like part of it is his friend going, "Oh, I was just pranking you, like just messing around." So
he
this
just keeps pranking him.
He's like, "Oh, this, that, and the other. I was just doing that for fun.
Reason.
That had nothing to do with anything."
There's no reason. All it does is just freak Bill out even more, and then he just does crazy shit, you know?
Yeah.
Either way, he goes to school the next day or maybe the same day. I don't even know. Time is a fucking weird circle in this movie. He just goes to school to debate this fucking Stuart Little looking ass guy. Corbin did not like him. Corbin was very, very vocal about how much he
I just don't
hates.
fucking like Stuart Little, that little fucking rat boy. I'm gonna step on him.
He is such a fucking rat, and he's a little high society nerd, and for some reason there's like a subplot about him running for president that only serves as a joke. Honestly,
yeah,
in like
it's
I don't think it matters.
Well, the only reason they use it is to have his character show up for something. They do a thing like, oh, maybe something happened to Stuart Little, and so he can't come back for the second debate, but then he's at the debate.
But then he's just there and goes, "What's this guy on?"
Yeah.
Hey, it was this guy, fucking sitcom.
It was such a sitcom moment, yeah.
Oh my god.
I saw Petrie last night in Franklin Canyon, murdered. Martin Petrie is dead.
Would someone like to tell me what's going on here?
The movie doesn't have any, like, for talking about a teen drama, it doesn't have like any big thing going on. The coming
has no high stakes.
The coming out party already happened off screen.
Yeah,
and,
there's Tom Ferguson's party, I think. Tom.
Yeah,
Ferguson?
but there's no.
That was like 12 seconds.
Yeah, that happens. in Act
but
2.
it's still like that's like one of the only big threads, like because
his girlfriend wants to go.
Can I talk about Billy's fucking girlfriend?
We can talk about Heidi Kozak
like
playing
she just
Shauna.
dis-a-fucking-peers. Shauna literally dis-a-fucking-peers. Such a vapid, empty character that every time she was on screen, I was like, fucking...
So, I'm sorry, but she is really fucking funny.
She is funny, but also every time she was on screen, I was like, why am I listening?
She wants to go to the party.
She's basically there just to advance the plot.
Well, then, it doesn't even fucking matter because Billy gets invited to the party and then he goes without her anyway.
And he hooks up with
because they broke up.
Oh, he does go without her.
He goes without her anyway. And then, like, he just, like, she sees him at the other girl's house in her car. And then she's fucking gone from the rest of the movie after that moment.
Yep.
Well, I think not at the end of the movie.
No.
Is she not at the show?
No.
I think that was just further them fucking with him.
Yeah, I don't think she's not part of the society. I think that's why she's like,
she's
why
not,
weren't we invited? Wasn't part of the club.
What is her character for? I just had this realization. I never thought about it. Well, what is her character?
It's for teen drama stuff. It's look, Billy's gonna kiss the other girl instead of her. That's what I mean by there's not like any big hang up areas. It's not like, oh, I need to practice for the big debate or the big dance is coming up.
Yeah, there's no payoff to any of the story aside from the conspiracy, and anything that they build narratively from Act 1 to Act 2 never gets a payoff before Act 3 in a way that is satisfying because when Act 3 starts, everything else is fucking dropped full bore off the table. Yeah. Kick Odie off the table. It's Garfield time.
Yeah, like how Act 3 starts they're not teasing it like, oh, the coming out party will be this Friday. You got to be sure you're ready for it. It's like he just goes home and then here we go. It just starts.
That's true. I've never thought about that. Now I'm like trying to count all the story threads that go nowhere. Like there's
so many.
Well, it's not they go nowhere. It just sort of.
Well, they
do though.
They have a resolution, but it's not a satisfying resolution.
They're all red herrings to basically make you think about something other than the third act,
which is stupid.
Yeah, they exist to distract you from the conspiracy, which is like I understand it, but part of me kind of wishes that there was just a little bit more depth to all of that stuff to make the third act even more shocking.
It's like David saying that Screaming Mad George is the real star because it's true. A lot of it, you could cut this movie down. I think, like, I'm saying people could easily cut it down because a lot of the middle of it, the issue is it is like the first time seeing it, it's like, oh, like what's going on with this and what's going on with that. And then you get to the third act and it just, here we go.
It just like, yeah, pretty much everybody always when you think about society, you never think about the first or the second act. You only think about
the mom
shunting.
who eats hair.
Oh yeah, there's.
Oh my god! Okay,
yeah, the John Waters character.
So let's just talk about the beach for a minute. The beach happens in like the end of Act 1, and that entire fucking scene is fucking beautiful. That shit is so fucking stupid. It's amazing.
It's my favorite part of the movie aside from anything in Act 3.
It's so fucking funny. They're just like really sexually, like, it's Heidi Kozak and Bill, what's her character, like, Shauna? Yeah, it's Bill and Shauna, and they're just like on the beach, just like, you know, getting really teasy and horny teen, blah blah blah. And then in the background, there's just these two fucking G.I. Joe kids just fucking going around in the fucking sand, and they just steal their suntan lotion. The suntan lotion scene, yeah. I forgot.
Just more sexual undertones.
Yeah. The kids just start going, die, you the alien. I just realized they talk more about aliens because of that. Yeah. Die, aliens, die. And they just spray fucking suntan lotion all over Bill and fucking Shauna, and Shauna has the best fucking, that line is stuck in my head forever. The way she delivers it, and she just goes like, Jesus goddamn Christ, my hair!
Jesus goddamn my hair!
And her mouth is covered in sunscreen.
Yeah, most of it's on her face. There's like a little bit on her hair.
No, it's all around her
covered.
Lips. Like she was eating sunscreen.
It's Go-Gurt in there.
And then while Bill gets up, starts running after those kids, and he just like falls for some reason, and then
he trips,
and then the fucking girl, I don't remember
Clarissa, the hot girl from school.
He's crawling towards the sunscreen and then sees toes.
Yeah, and then the toes are Clarissa's. Clarissa picks up the suntan lotion, just sprays his face all over into his mouth, and she just
it wasn't a spray, it was more of a
because she was like, don't get too hot.
Don't get too hot, and then she leaves. That's it.
I mean, we got introduced to her by him debating Stuart Little, looking to the audience, and she's just full on spreading her panties at him. And everyone can see this happening, including his girlfriend. Like the entire auditorium is just turning to look at him stuttering, and staring at her.
Bill is just like, the dress code. And then he just gets up, and immediately after all that, there's just this huge woman that shows up.
Tuba music starts fucking playing.
There's tuba music, and there's a man over, like, there's a man dubbing this woman, and the man is just going,
That's a really good rotation.
And she's just staring him down, and that's the entire scene. This scene is so long. It's so...
She's a large, scary woman.
It feels like so much happening, but all of this happens in like 2 fucking minutes or something. That beach scene is fucking incredible. Then Dave Blanchard goes up to Bill and is like, I secretly recorded your family. And Bill's like, you're way out of line, man. Stop that. It's like Dave Blanchard can't stop doing crimes and nobody gives a shit. He just goes away with it. The recording, he shows the recording. It's the recording of his family and a few other people, like during the coming out parties planning thing that they were doing at the beginning of the movie that you don't see. And they just start...
Yeah, you hear his sister talking dirty with both her parents.
Yeah, it's like really, really gross. It's like, I just love the feeling of the stretching and I can go anywhere. And then they start moaning and screaming.
Then you hear an orgy and like horrified screaming. It's like, what? What's happening?
It's a lot. During the entire time, Bill is just staring at the fucking ocean like, what the fuck is he making me listen to? He tackles Dave, picks up the radio and just goes to his therapist, gives him The therapist is like, I don't want to listen to this right now.
You've
I'll
gotta
listen to it tomorrow. And then he's like, no, you gotta listen to it right now. And then he ends up just taking the tape. Like the therapist just takes the tape and tells him to go the fuck home.
Goes home, comes back the next day. The tape is completely normal.
It's completely different. They're just like, we'll have drinks and dine and this and that.
It feels good to stretch all this silly putty in my hands. Bring me a newspaper.
Yeah, that pretty much. It's just extremely normal. I did miss one scene though that I think is very important and really funny because Brian Yuzna, that was also a reshoot. There's a scene where it's completely random and Bill is just like, I need my suntan lotion, and he goes into the bathroom while his fucking sister is showering.
Oh,
right.
I feel like the all the body horror stuff with the sister and with Clarissa, I feel like that's just them fucking with him on purpose.
Oh yeah, that is.
It's gotta be right.
That is 100% established. Like,
because it is, that scene was added just to like show like more weird stuff in the first act because there's not a lot.
Well, in the third act, he's like, when Billy asks like what's happening, the answer he gets is, it's show business. And they're like, oh, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
Like it's said that all the members were just fucking with him because that's part of the experience.
Fun. Yeah.
Let's see how crazy we can make him before the shunting.
And he goes fucking batshit.
And what's weird is like thinking of how things like are set up and paid off.
Yeah.
There's weird things like that they bothered to establish. Like he's going into the bathroom to get the sunscreen that they'll use on the beach for the squirting scene.
Yeah. While he's inside, he just hears his sister like singing. And for some reason, he just starts staring down at the glass of the shower. And
it's very misty and it's hard to tell.
She's like twisting and turning everywhere. It's pretty obvious what's happening though. Her ass is on the same side as her breasts, and her head is also facing towards the door. She basically has ass in the front, and then she starts like, she just like starts bending to the side like all the way like a fucking slinky. It's so fucking weird. I just remember, I love that scene just because when it happened, Corbin and Brendan were just screaming.
It reminded me of the Deadite mom from Evil Dead 2. Without arms.
Oh, she didn't have arms either.
Yeah.
Or maybe she did. I don't fucking
remember. They were
remember,
on the inside playing the xylophone ribs.
Yeah, just wanted to go back to that because I thought it was really interesting that Brian Yuzna like did a test screening and people were like, shit is not weird enough. Like it has to be more established, so they added that scene.
Oh, I still feel like shit could have been weirder. I would have cut out 10 minutes of Act 2 just for more weird shit.
Act 2 had to be weirder.
I mean, having the fake out Stuart Little looks like he's dead, then he's not.
Yeah,
it's like you could have gone farther with it or had more at the party. The party seems very underused for what you could have done with that.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at though. The party, because I don't even know what to say. It pretty much only establishes that the bully is a bully. It's like
all of Act 2. It's more of this. Like we should just talk about the shunting.
Let's talk about the shunting. The shunting is amazing because during the entire movie, you know something's weird. They keep making jokes about it being like, this is alien. This is alien.
You're going to be part of society. Can't wait for you to be part of society.
You're going to contribute to society. He is not part of society. They make it very clear that
to society.
Like during the entire movie, they tell to Bill, you are not going to. You're going to listen. You're not going to be part of society.
You're going to
listen. Yeah, contribute. At the penultimate thing that happens is he starts more and more like going after his parents, like, fuck you, butthead.
Fuck you, butthead.
Bill, how dare you use the F word to your father?
Shit is weird. I'm getting gaslit to fuck.
The incest is getting more overt.
Just loses it.
Like,
there's one scene in particular where the parents and the sister are just in their room and they're just kind of massaging each other, really
touching each other.
Oh man, it's a lot.
Well, I love when he walks in, he says, I don't know what's going on here, but I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, it's just so nonchalant about it, just like,
I don't know what's going on here, but I don't appreciate it.
Calm down, Bill.
Some of us have to get to school on time.
anytime something weird happens to him, he's just like, I
His
don't really
face
like
morphs
this.
into Agent Cooper from Twin Peaks. He just goes, I don't know what's going on here, but I really don't appreciate it.
Yeah. It just boils over, and there's a scene where he goes after his dad's lawyer and his therapist and his parents, and he's just like, I know you're fucking with me, blah, 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 blah. And then they just like drop the act completely. They drug him, send him to a hospital, and
the hospital has him pronounced dead.
they basically
and then
declare
the
him
ambulance takes
dead.
him back.
And they also did the same during Act 2. They also did the same for David Blanchard, but it just happened so fast and it doesn't really have like a payoff until the shunting, so we're just there. He goes back home, and before he goes back home, his best friend character, who was at the beginning of the movie playing basketball with him, Milo, he's just like, dude, they just pronounce you dead. They can do anything like that they want to you. And he just says, fuck it, I'm a free man. Ha ha ha. As if like he's totally right though. You're pronounced dead.
In reference to Milo, do you remember how Milo kept like fucking adding to Billy's paranoia by like leaving a fucking Ken doll with like a screwdriver in its head and then a fucking sex doll with a Ken doll inside of it? Which like narratively, if it wasn't Milo, would have made sense to be like the people shunting the society people doing it to Billy to fuck with him more, but it just was like Milo's like, I was just pranking you because I was pissed off. I don't know why I did that stuff, and then that's it.
No, the answer was literally, why'd you do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, why the dolls and stuff? I don't know.
That was the most realistic high school thing in the entire movie, though. To be fair,
yeah, just I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to fuck with you. Funny, yeah. Goes back home. There's an extended, like a really long extended scene where you're just walking around and I think it's a really effective scene. Like he goes back home, the light, like all the lights are off, can't open them. And there's just whispering, like people going like, he's here. I can see him, like shit like that. And it's pretty creepy. And then his parents get home, he confronts them, and the whole fucking high society city thing, everybody's there. The lawyer, the therapist, whatever. They basically like trap him with one of those like dog, what is that even called?
Like a dog catcher.
Oh, the animal
It's
catcher.
An animal catcher. They just straight up like the lawyer just goes up and he says, marvelous, everybody was wonderful, everybody did their part perfectly, everybody at the party knew what was going on with
except Milo and Clarissa's mom, who eats hair.
Yeah, she eats and pukes hair.
I thought she was in on it. I don't know about her mom, but Clarissa, I think, was still in on
Clarissa knew.
Clarissa's mom is part of them too, but she's brain damaged or has something going on.
Yeah.
I know why she's like that.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like I also know is it related to the mayor spitting out hair?
Incest.
Oh, incest.
No, it's related to incest. So, but before we get into, because they do mention incest a lot in this movie.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Incest and psychosis is like the thing that he says at the beginning of the movie. Yeah, no, that's what Brian Yuzna said, that's what happens when the
shunting isn't performed, because then they can get more.
Yeah,
right.
It is literally like dog breeding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this movie has a lot of stuff about dog breeding and dogs, like especially during that scene where like before the shunting happens, he is trapped like a dog. They literally make him. They parade him around.
Yeah,
and they parade him around like a dog. And Dave Blanchard is revealed to be alive
for a little bit,
not for long. That's when the shunt begins. Shunt.
I think it's important to say that they announce basically the reason for the first two acts. They go, it's all about it's showbiz, baby.
It's showbiz, baby. It's all about the entertainment.
They literally said they were playing with their food. Fuck you.
Yeah,
we did that for
literally
funsies.
Playing.
And we're not aliens. We've been on the earth as long as you. They are not. We're a different species.
Yeah, they are not.
And how they are this way is just we have good breeding. We are the result of good breeding. Well, explains
literally it
everything.
Is because of incest. It is literally because of incest. Because Brian Yuzna explained that it is literally like dog breeding. Like when you're doing dog breeding, and you want the purest race possible. I think I don't know much about that stuff, but there would be a lot of incest and to like purify make sure that there's not too many like, issues with the incest and the inbreeding.
Yeah. They would do it with like
variation. Genetic variation in the mix, which is what the shunting is for.
Yep.
Clarissa's mother did not shunt, so that's why she is the way she is, and she is voiced by a
large man.
A large man.
It is funny always seeing her though, because like they don't even bother to line up the ADR sounds like her mouth movements.
Oh no,
so
not at all.
Standing there and you hear
she's going off. I want Brendan and Corbin to explain the shunt.
Yeah.
David Blanchard. They just announced that the shunt starts. Everybody gets naked.
Have you ever played a game called Katamari Damacy?
Oh my god, that's such a good analogy.
That's a weirdly good. Yeah.
It's like Katamari Damacy, but one guy gets to become the ball at the end.
Yeah.
Because the mayor gets they become the shunt. The shunting lets you gain the genetic data of the person you shunt too. That's why the mayor has the beauty mark at the very end of the shunting.
It is very horrifying. It is just a bunch of people melting together.
It is indescribable. It has to be seen. Like,
it is so wet. It is so viscous.
They're covered in Vaseline.
It's not Vaseline. It's a food thickening agent. And it's a lot of it. Like, a lot of it. They were going through gallons and gallons during shooting. One interesting thing, though, Screaming Mad George thought that it would be too horrifying if there was any blood in the scenes with the shunting. There's no blood in any of those scenes. There's only the Vaseline. They never show a drop of blood. It's just people mutating into each other and moaning and screaming and laughing and saying the weirdest fucking shit.
Slurping them off like Go-Gurt.
And then the lawyer shunts David Blanchard by getting to the bottom of this, which means
he gets to the bottom of it.
He shoves his entire hand up his asshole, goes up, pops out his eyes from the inside with his fingers, put his thumb out the mouth, and just starts wiggling it around, and it is horrifying. It looks so fucking insane. And Brian Yuzna thought that it was too much, so he decided to put Blue Danube during that scene just to make it more comedic than like horrifying. Good call. Really good call. Because I could not imagine that entire scene being completely quiet.
Like if it was just the sounds of the shunting and no music.
It is so gross.
It would be so fucking different. Like watching now, it's like a spectacle. It's just like holy shit.
They should have played Rainbow Connection, sung by Kermit.
Oh god. The shunting continues as Bill just I can't remember exactly how he gets out.
He just sort of leaves.
His girlfriend.
Clarissa helps him because she changes her mind, and she's like, she's not her girlfriend.
Well, she is then. He broke up. He and Shauna broke up at the it's like not worth talking about even. She frees him. He runs upstairs.
Society happens for real because
Joker,
the therapist, actually gets a Jack Nicholson Joker smile, and he starts chasing him around, and then he becomes a hand.
His head is a hand. And
his head is a hand. His head is a hand, and his hand is a hand, and it reminded me of the fucking when Loki in Son of the Mask turned the nosy neighbor into a nose. Like I had a full fucking moment there. I was like, what?
It's really similar. He just and then Billy just is like, fuck this, I'm leaving. This shit is too much for me. goes inside his parents' room. And
when the handman, when he was reaching towards Billy, did you think he was gonna pinch his nipples?
I did not get that sense at all.
No, for some reason, just the height of the hand and like the little pinching position of the hand, it really looked like he was just gonna start pinching his nipples.
I mean, sure.
That's just me then. I'm sorry.
I think that's just you. I did not get that at all. He goes into his parents' room. His parents are, well, his mom is she doesn't have any more arms. Her arms are gone. She's a torso with a head, and her hands, her feet are hands. Her
feet are man hands, like hairy, muscular man arms.
Pretty ripped hands. And she's just twisting and turning and going like, Billy boy, come over here, come over to see mommy. And it's like, oh, okay. She gets up. She becomes, dude, the way she gets up is so fucking weird because they change from like an actual actress to just like a weird puppet.
This is what reminded me of the mom Deadeye from Evil Dead 2.
That shit made me laugh so hard. Oh, it kind of does.
That's what I meant when I said that earlier. This is what reminded me of that.
I'm right, bro. It looks exactly like he's going to pinch his nipple.
He's just showing us the scene in like, I mean.
Watch this.
I guess it's going towards his nipple. You're right.
100% going towards his nipple.
It was like the center of his chest. It wasn't.
Yeah, I can kind of see it. Man. Okay, either way. The mom gets up and starts going towards her son, who is now on the floor because he's fucking floored by what he's seeing. And
his sister.
Her sister's head is on her crotch.
If you have any Oedipal fantasies you'd like to fulfill, now is the time.
If you have any edible fantasies you'd like to indulge in, Billy, now's the time.
And then the dad is also there, and he is a butthead.
Well, son, I guess you're right. I am a butthead. hey, Bill.
That's all you need to say. He is now a butthead, and goes, "You're right, son. I am a butthead.
I am a butthead." And then he starts farting with he just starts blowing raspberries, just going. And it's
cinema.
It's fucking cinema. The shunting continues. They go back downstairs, and it is Salvador Dali up in that bitch. Like, actually, it is meant to be like a Salvador Dali painting. Screaming Mad George took inspiration for the shunting. Like when they're like at the peak shunting, when they're all like
is melted all over the room.
Oh yeah, no, everybody, all the people are just melted and smoking cigars and pouring wine into every, I would say orifice, but I don't even know what it is. It is supposed to be like a Salvador Dali painting called The Great Masturbator. It's supposed to be similar to that. It's extremely appropriate.
I've never seen that art piece.
It's very melty. It's a melty woman with a cock in her face.
He challenges the bully.
Bill challenges the bully Ferguson to a fight, and
Ferguson kicks his ass until
he gets his ass kicked, and then all of a sudden they start making out. And that's what gives Billy the upper hand. Billy just fucking grabs a punch from Ferguson, starts twisting it like a cartoon character. And while he's twisting it, he just shoves his hand up his ass once more. A lot of fisting in this movie. Just shoves his hand up Ferguson's ass. And Ferguson starts doing the most cartoon character noise. And his lips start like going blah, 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 blah. He just goes like
actual sounds.
It is some Looney Tunes shit. And he just like goes up Ferguson, grabs his, like does the same thing they did to David Blanchard, But instead of just like wiggling the head around, he fucking takes it back inside out and like he makes him inverted. He inverts the man.
Turns him inside out.
Turns him completely fucking inside out. And then they run away and that's it.
Yeah.
They run away and that's the end of the movie.
The bad guy says, well, I guess you have a new opening. The end.
Yeah. Clarissa, Bill, and Milo, I think his name was the best friend. They just fuck off. That's it. That's the end of the movie.
It just ends. Clap.
I'm so fucking... Every time I watch this movie, I'm extremely baffled by the end. I'm extremely baffled by a lot of things and decisions.
I'm baffled by this entire movie.
Yeah, Brian Yuzna has said in the past that he wants to make a sequel. In 2013, he was like trying to push very hard for a sequel to this movie. Yeah, that's society, man. That's fucking society.
Much like real society, so shall we too end abruptly.
I mean, like they say to him, it's you were never part of us. You are born into society.
Yeah.
It's like you're already here or you're not. Which is an interesting contrast with They Live, since that's like, hey, you can...
Yeah.
John Carpenter's idea is, hey, you can sell out and be part of the club.
Yeah.
This version is, no, you're in or you can never be in if you weren't already.
Yeah. What do you guys think about this movie? I personally fucking love this movie because I can't believe it even exists.
Yeah.
It's amazing that it even exists.
I mean, you and I, we have seen this movie before, and it's always amazing getting to show new people it.
It's an amazing movie to show people because every single time it's the shunting, baby. Yeah. There's so much going on.
Like, I'm curious, like, Brendan, like Corbin, you thought it was aliens at first. Like, what did you both think?
Yeah.
It is not like, what was the thought process of what you thought was happening and then like the shunting reaction?
So in the beginning, within the first two scenes, I go, oh, okay, so they're aliens. And then I figure out they're aliens, right? Or at least I assume I do. They keep fucking with him, but he doesn't know yet. So I'm just sitting there waiting for the character to find out for a very long time. And then the reveal is nothing in this movie has actually mattered. No, we're not aliens. Time to shunt me. So I agree with you on the aspect, David, of I'm confused on why this movie exists. And I'm baffled that it does.
I love that it doesn't exist. That it exists.
I
love that it even happened.
I don't like this movie.
You don't like it?
No, it felt like I said, I don't think I should even call it a movie because it's just like everything in the movie was completely pointless. And the whole point of the movie was we were just fucking with you. Time to be absorbed. And then they just leave.
That's life, baby.
I think it has a lot of stuff to say about like grooming and just like
it has a lot to say about society, baby.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're just trying to go about your life, and these powers much stronger than you that you can't control keep fucking with you, and sometimes it's just for no reason but their own amusement.
But then as well, like their son, right?
Yes,
clearly grown up.
Not their son. That is not their son.
They're quote unquote
orphan.
Yeah,
he was literally always going to be shunted at the age of 16, I think. Right?
Yeah,
17, about to be 18.
18.
He's 17.
Okay.
He's like, I'm about to be 18. I have rights.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. And it's before he. Yeah. Okay.
So he grows up with these parents, and his therapist is also a part of the society. So like all aspects of his life are basically controlled by this society.
Yeah.
So why is he normal? Like,
well,
you'd be...
I mean, think of how anyone's different than their parents. Like, not everyone in the town is part of the society. He still goes to school. He still has friends.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's not part of the club because he's talking to his therapist. He's like, my parents, they talk to me differently, not like how they talk to Jenny. So even how they raised him, they were kind of more distant with him. And they were more doting on his sister because she's actually likely their actual child, or at least she's part of the club, so it doesn't really matter.
They do always like keep mentioning he does keep mentioning like I was never treated the same. I was always like they pretend I don't exist and stuff like that
because they didn't want to be close to him because he is essentially veal. He's like a delicacy. The mayor's like, wow, look at this. We have a special treat who was raised by Nan and him, and They raised him in their own home. So it's like, this is their he's caviar that they've brought in for him.
Yeah.
So he's like,
it's
they've
like
been
getting
distant
a
with
pet
me.
pig and then just eating the pet pig when you want to.
Their whole thing is it's like when rich people today will eat like some endangered, like, an egg from some endangered animal or some delicacy. It's just that. It's the fact that, it's a delicacy. Look, we stole this child and raised it for 18 years just so we can shunt it.
I mean, it's like
how eccentric.
It's like veal and shit like that, but not really, because veal is pretty easy to get.
Well, yeah,
like,
it's just the same.
It's in the same way.
Yeah,
People
it's
do
just
an
a
accent
delicacy.
Another thing that that pissed me off about this movie was, in most movies, you've got things that seemingly don't matter, that in the end add up to something important.
Right.
And this movie felt like the exact opposite, where things happen that seem like they might be important, and
it seems to throw a lot at the wall, and some stuff pays off, and some just goes nowhere. Like Shauna goes nowhere.
I can't pretend that this movie doesn't have like a lot of problems.
Like the entire point of hair eating woman is so Milo can hook up with her and team up.
Oh fuck, that's right.
Yeah, because Milo teams up with her, and she helps him get past security at the house, so he can then go in and help rescue him from the shunting.
And also, they don't explain very well what the shunting is supposed to be. Like, there's a lot of lore that is only talked about in interviews and stuff like that. Like the fucking breeding thing.
Yeah,
it's barely brought up in the movie. In the movie, the only line you have is, "We're not aliens. We're just good at breeding." That's it.
like the shunting is just like, okay, they're like shunt to just drag it, like pulling a liquid out of something. It's like, okay, they're draining him of his liquid. But like, until you brought it up, I would have had no idea that it's like, oh, she's like that because it's like a result of not shunting or inbreeding.
Inbreeding. Yeah.
It's like, so you do have to read between the lines a lot, which they probably could have used some of that time to fill out more.
Yeah. I do like that you have, thinking about the movie more and more, I like that. I think it's cool that there's a lot to take away from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it has a lot to say.
It's just
despite
a weird
it being very obvious.
Yeah, it's a very weird mix of reading between the lines and being beaten over the head with
other stuff. The therapist stuff, literally Spooky's moment.
Yeah, but again, that's why Society isn't it's not a very super well known movie compared to like.
Oh no,
even Inside the Circle, like From Beyond or Stuart Gordon stuff. Like Society is still fairly obscure in comparison.
Yeah,
and it's like, that's why, because it has an insane ending, but a lot leading up to it goes here and there.
A lot going up to it is like very mid.
You know, when you watch an SNL skit and you're like, when are they going to get to the payoff and when are they going to get to the end? Like, and they keep on going.
That's what you felt.
I felt like I was watching an SNL skit and then it just would not get to the payoff. And then it did, and I was like, oh. But then I was sitting here like, that wasn't worth all of that shit I just sat through.
I was about to say, Brendan, are you implying that SNL skits have payoff?
No, I do. Like, it just... part of me enjoyed this movie just for the existence of the movie. Like, the idea that something like this could get made, did get made, and was on home VHS for people to watch at home, pick up after you get a big pile of pizza for the family. It's impressive that this exists. But the other part of me felt that I was getting the fucking goddamn shit kicked out of me left and fucking right by like the dialogue. People were talking like fucking bumper stickers. Motherfuckers were rhyming left and right. Nobody talked like a real human being, which I
mean, that's the point.
Well, no, but
that's the point. It wants to take you out of like your normal life and put you somewhere fucking weird.
It's off, but part of me felt like it wasn't ever off enough.
Yeah.
There were a lot of times where I appreciated the movie for being as weird as it is with how normal it can be at times. But then another part of me was screaming, holy fucking shit, make something. The like popcorn muncher part of me was like, holy fucking shit, I want a chimp to come out and rip someone's fucking face off. Do something. Like, it's my problem. It's a problem I have with like long form content that can be very slow. I get bored very easily. Not to say that that's the movie's detriment. That's my own personal detriment. But I feel like the pacing was off, and I wish that 10 minutes of Act 2 was cut out just to go in more depth for Act 3. And the movie would mostly
Yeah.
be fine for me. Otherwise, I'd give it like a yeah.
Okay.
I would give it a Y.
I think society. I think society did what Jaws did for swimming,
What is
but for rich people.
everyone
Orgies?
started avoiding mansions after they saw Society.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this movie
Nobody
killed the
saw
orgy scene.
Society though.
Everyone was hitting rich people with their car.
Society is a huge flop. Unsurprisingly, it did not do well at all. Like it released in '89 in Europe, and it didn't make it to the US until '92. And when it released in '92, it bombed so hard that people just stopped talking about it until recently, where people are looking at it and they're like, oh shit, this is still topical. Like, because this movie, it doesn't really have anything that ages it that much apart from the phones being landlines. And even then, we still have landlines. I don't know.
No one has landlines
I think
anymore,
I still
David.
like it. What?
No one has landlines anymore.
You'd
My
be
mom
surprised.
does.
My parents,
Yeah.
my parents still have landlines. Yeah.
My mom has a
But-
landline so that spam callers can call her, and then she can have other people answer and fuck with them.
I mean, that's cool.
That's fun.
Most people just
Yeah.
have a
My dad,
landline
who
just
can't
in
use
So-
a
case.
microwave, got rid of it.
What would you guys say? Is society art or is society cool? The movie.
Society is art. It's art because it is trying to say something about society. It is saying it very blatantly. There's a lot of the actual in-universe lore that's very alluded to, but not really.
Yeah.
You have to read between the lines a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the ending scene is pretty fucking nuts. Like, the entire third act is nuts. But it's like, between art and cool, like, I would definitely recommend that movie more as art over cool because it is such a build up to it.
I agree 100% for literally every reason we've talked about. The fact that we can even like we finished like talking about the plot of the movie and still kept theorizing about a lot of the things we've seen. We kept thinking like, oh, was this on purpose? Was this not on purpose? And there's still a lot. I feel like there's a lot to talk about in this movie still. It's fucking art, man.
I don't know if I can call it art.
Would you call it cool?
I would call it fart.
You can't. You can't do that. That's not on the. That's not on the rating.
I would be forced to say cool in the way of when someone else has an opinion that's different than mine, and I don't agree with it, but I respect them for having an opinion. I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay,
and that's how I feel. Like,
so you don't believe that. You don't believe that society is using low class scum like us?
I mean, they're just sucking me off. They're just sucking me off, and that's cool. I'm cool with that. Like you exist, and that's okay. And that's all I can say.
I'm going to stick to the adherent scoring system instead of trying to break the rules and be cool like Corbin here. I'm going to say art. Yeah, I don't think this movie was cool. I wouldn't sit down and watch this movie and be like, yo, grandma, grandpa, get in here, watch this shit. Put it up on the big 70-inch TV and be like, yo, fuck yeah, they're shunting, dude. I would say art because it's just that. Like, I thought it was really odd how the message of the movie was more blunt than the actual like lore behind the movie. But then again, I guess because the stuff involving the parasites didn't really need to matter, it was just there to set up the message of the movie. So yeah, art. I'd 100% say art. If I walked into like a Minneapolis museum and the shunting scene was being shown on an LCD screen, I'd be like, yeah, that's art.
What if it was an OLED screen?
I mean, hey, it's got to be a sunroom, right?
Higher quality.
I do now though, Brendan. I'm going to force my grandparents to watch this movie.
Yeah.
What?
I'm gonna sit them down. I'm gonna tape their eyes open. I'm gonna make my grandparents watch it.
Do it.
I'm gonna keep chanting, "Cool, cool, cool, cool."
Either way, this movie is available in the USA on Amazon Prime, AMC Plus. It's available on Shudder, DirecTV. You can rent it on fucking everything. It's insanely available.
I saw it at my
and you
local
can check
Redbox.
out. Ooh, awesome! You can it is on Redbox. You can also get it on fucking physical release from Arrow Video, and it's a fucking amazing package. That's what we were watching. And don't forget to check out our commentary track so that you can hear Brendan and Corbin just fucking screaming every time something weird happens on screen.
So like a good
I'm
four
proud of
screams.
Brendan I'm proud you made it through the shunting scene. So that had
Did you
to be
look
a lot.
away? Did you look away?
I looked away,
Of
but I
course
kept
he
cranking
had.
my neck. I cranked my neck back every time. I had to keep looking back. And thankfully, there wasn't that much blood. What really gets me is like guts. So I was like, I can handle this. Once I started to realize that shit just looked like silly putty, I started to kind of be like, okay,
Yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah.
This shit looks like what I put my fist in my stretch Armstrong.
At one point it's so ridiculous. It just looks kind of like The Mask.
Yeah.
Or Son of the
I
Mask.
love The Mask. Can we watch Son of the Mask?
Yeah, that's a spooky tape.
That is
Son of
one
the
hell of a
Mask is-
fucking spooky tape.
If we don't watch Son of the Mask, we have to watch Bruce Almighty.
Oh,
Nah,
fuck.
Bubba Hotep
Okay,
instead of
we're
Bruce
watching
Almighty.
None of these are horror movies.
Dracula
Hotep
dead
is-
and loving it.
Blah, I'm a sexy vampire and I want to suck your cock. PSD would not be able to exist without the support from our patrons. Here's a few of our top supporters. Huge thank you to Air109, Alan Diver, Ollie Oxenfree, B. Nelly, Ben Chrismanic, Bure, Bungo Crust, Boopaloo, Brain Soup, Brobly, Butternut, Caffeine Addicted Chemist, Caleb Wallace, Chris Chapman, Christian B, Dreams of Ice, Ducky Madness, DX Studios, Eric Scott Gillies, Ethereal, Fang Jade, Generic Phoenix, Handsome Destiny, Harry Norris, Hater115, Inspector Seb, Inverted Van Man, It's Ducktastic, Jacob, Jeff Smith, Kaka, Leo the Geotech, Loudon Woodworth, Matt, me, Mr. Shirt, Notoriety, Schizolingvo, Shantanu Batia, Smaggle, Snake Asylum, Spherical Nathan, Stinger123, Teague, The Big Gay, The Frost Ace, The Snack Salotl, Winnie Rab, Will9455, William Oliver, and Winchester Curse. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.